So did you hear that Webster's Dictionary formally updated its definition of GMO to include every crop that's currently farmed? Because everything that we eat today has been modified in some way from its natural state. Of course you didn't hear that. That's an April Fool's joke. But we have lots of real news for you to chew on in this week's New Ground. New Ground is AGDAILY's video series that looks at everything that's interesting in the past week or so in agriculture. My name is Ryan Tipps, I'm the editor of AGDAILY, and today we're going to start with what was by far the most well-read story on AGDAILY.com. Because earlier this week, the US Supreme Court agreed to hear a challenge to California's Proposition 12 legislation. Prop 12, which was delayed from going into effect earlier this year, is a ballot measure that prohibits the sale of pork that is not produced according to California's production animal housing standards, which means that anyone who wants to sell their products in California has to abide by the standards too. The National Pork Producer Council and the American Farm Bureau Federation both objected to the law, with industry estimates for converting barns or building new ones to meet Prop 12 standards estimated to be in the billions of dollars, with consumers bearing the ultimate cost through higher pork prices. The challengers expect to file their initial briefs in the coming weeks, with the US Supreme Court then likely to hear oral arguments later in the fall, and potentially even render a decision before the end of the year. A group of bipartisan senators have released an update to the Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act, which was done with a lot of input from the USDA. The updated bill would do things like establish minimum levels of fed cattle purchases made through approved pricing mechanisms, set maximum penalties for covered packers, and create a publicly available library of marketing contracts. Many in the industry worry that without reform in this space, negotiated trade would fall drastically in the coming years. What do you think about the idea of astronauts using GMO lettuce to ward off some of the diseases that can potentially come with long space flights? You know, that idea isn't so far-fetched. Researchers at the University of California, Davis's College of Engineering have developed transgenic lettuce that produces a drug to protect against bone density loss in microgravity. The work was presented last month at the spring meeting of the American Chemical Society. This could be a really cool thing, as a mission to Mars, for example, would take years to complete. Not only would this type of food have specific health benefits for astronauts, but a lot of research has shown that for astronauts to be able to grow their own food, it's a huge morale boost for them while they're in space. Are you familiar with the term cause marketing? That's where a company will connect with people beyond traditional advertising methods, meaning they'll actually form real, genuine connections within their communities, and they'll do good there. Tractor company KIOTI is crushing it in this space. North Carolina-based KIOTI has poured years of energy into cause marketing campaigns, supporting veteran and women farmers and responding to needs in both the local area and in regions elsewhere that have been hit by a crisis. They've done breast cancer awareness fundraisers using pink tractors, donated utility vehicles to Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria decimated that island, and they've inspired tractor owners to help their own communities through the grassroots program called the Dirt Brigade. Most recently, KIOTI is partnering with the nonprofit Rebuilding Together, which helps provide no-cost home repairs to those neighbors in need. I would love to see more and more ag companies take a play out of the KIOTI playbook and do more in their communities like this. That wraps up New Ground for the day. Keep an eye on AGDAILY.com, AGDAILYTV.com, and all of our social channels to stay up to date on everything that's happening in the world of agriculture. Take care and stay safe.